Hello there. It's a nice brush. It's my Simpson Duke 2 and best. Well, let's set it over here to. By the way, if you notice that pouring sound, what I've done is I fill this all the way to the top with hot water and let it stay, because the more water you have in it, the longer it'll stay warm. Whole thing. So, and then when I get ready to set my brush in it to soak, I just pour out enough to where only the knot is submerged. That way the cup and the water stay warm while I'm dropping a razor or whatever. And so we're going to set that there to soak. And tonight's soap is Yulay's British Gardens. Now, if we look at her description of this soap, she says, walking through the gardens with the honeysuckle and flowers blooming, blowing in the breeze, as a garden fills with beautiful butterflies. Lovely scent. Honeysuckle is very pronounced in it, but I really think I'm getting a bit of rose. I even think there might be a bit of citrus. The ingredients are aloe vera, stearic acid, coconut fatty acid, palm stearic, BTMS, glycerin, potassium hydroxide, castor, coconut, avocado, babasu, and argan oils, cocoa butter, extracts, polyquats, glycerin, again, sodium lactate, allantoin, silica, liquid silk, kaolin clay, mica, and fragrance. I assume that the mica is coloring, but who knows? But it's a wonderful floral honeysuckle kind of scent, and lovely. Her presentation is always lovely. And so we're going to go ahead and get the shave started. I'm going to move down so we can get moving with the shave. And what I'm going to do, I used to lather in the container here, but I find that some of her soaps are harder than others, and this seems to be very soft. And so when you lather, you can lather these soft ones just fine, but some of her soaps are a little bit harder than others. And what happens is, you see how that kind of broke up there? The harder ones break up into like 5 or 6 pieces, and you end up chasing it around the container there. So I found that if I just take a piece of it off and pop it in a bowl, or in the bowl of my scuttle, and I just used a very small piece, it might not even be enough. I may need to do more, and if I do, I will. But I just used a very small piece of her soap, and we're going to see what happens. Now, yeah, I should have used just a hair more soap, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm a bowl latherer. That's pretty much the only way that I lather soaps now. And the reason I bring that up is that if I can get this thing to close, where I can continue to talk to you. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is I'm using a brush right now that is very much thought of as a brush that's, get off my fingers, you, as a brush that's used as a face lathering brush. And because it's a short-handled, short-lofted badger, and lots of guys say, well, you need a longer handle to bowl either. Well, that's convenient, but you can take this handle and hold it right like that. Put it down in here, and it works absolutely fine as a bowl lather. And these Georgetown pottery scuttles, the bowl is fairly deep, and you don't hear me clinking against the sides or any of that kind of nonsense. Now, if I was, and I have, you know, with different brushes, probably with this one a couple of times too, it's not something that is a bother to me. I don't care whether that clinking sound happens or not. I'm shaving. And I'm using a brush in a ceramic container. Guess what? It might clink a little bit if you smack it. Big deal. But anyway, you don't have to have, the point that I was getting at, and you know, not to get off in the weeds, which I can do a lot, but the point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter. I can face lather. This is a face latherer's dream. This brush is. It's I think probably what it was designed for more than anything else is to face lather. But I lather in a bowl with it with no problems, no issues whatsoever. And it's a wonderful brush. So, Yulay, this has got a wonderful strength on the face. Really, really nice. Lovely. This, like I said, the honeysuckle is really predominant in this soap. I love it. Of course, I like florals, and don't have a problem with it. So tonight's razor is my Genco Grant with yellow cirrus scales. It's a 4/8. It was a 9/16 when I bought it, but I bought it for $1 at the flea market, and it was brown with a thick layer of rust, and there were chips in all along the edge. It looked like it had teeth, you know. So I had to do some serious bread knifing to get the edge well enough that I could use it, you know, that I could put an edge on it. You know, I don't recommend bread knifing. There are better ways to take care of a wonky edge, but when the chips and stuff are near 1/16 of an inch into the edge, you really don't have a lot of choice. So soap is nice and slick. And this razor as always is really, really sharp. I love this blade. Wonderful. All right. I always get a really nice shave from it. The only thing that I really don't like about the smaller blades is that Clean it off a bit. There are no jumps on the shank of this blade. Now with a smaller blade, for some reason, that does not seem to bother me or hinder control of the blade. Maybe because the shank is thinner and smaller and my hands just can get a hold of it better. I don't know. But on like a 5/8 or a 6/8, especially a 6/8 and up, if there's no jumps on the razor, it's really difficult to deal with. The only one that I have that doesn't have jumps on it on the shank, and it's a 6/8, is a Sheffield wedge that I have, and it's just, the thing is so big and thick, the shank is, that it don't matter. You're not going to have to worry about it. You're not going to have a problem handling it. But normally, razors that are 5/8 or more and that don't have jumps, I don't particularly care for. That's a wonderful, wonderful scent. Wonderful soap. Of course, Monica's scents and her soaps have always been good for me. I love Yulay. Lovely. Miss my straights. Oh yeah. Opened up a nick in the crease of my chin there. It's an old nick. I nicked it a couple of days ago. And it's, you know how they swell up a little bit if you nick yourself good. And so it's a bit above the rest of the skin, and I caught it with the edge of the blade. That's how that works. Another little nick right there. Got me a couple times. That's all right. That's why it's called shaving. Lovely. Still a lovely shave. So nasty slick, I can't really, I gotta sort of push in with my whole hand and try to tighten that skin that way, because I can't I can't grab it, it's so slick. I like that. And this, I'm going to keep with the honeysuckle theme that's going on with this soap. Yulay makes a post-shave balm, and this is their honeysuckle scent. This stuff is a really good balm. You don't need much, and I've used it for a while now. And I have like winter skin where that whole area there tends to dry and peel and carry on. So I just used a tiny little bit of balm. That I'm gonna put a little bit of that in my hand, my palm, and go to town like that. Just use a little bit because it's winter. Now winter's going away soon and I won't have this problem. But this is the only one of the few times you'll ever see me use balm. And it's because the high winds and stuff that we've had lately and the dryness due to having a furnace on all year. Most of you, if you don't realize it, your furnace, the heat from your furnace will drop the humidity in your home. I know this because I build guitars and I have to be careful for an aftershave. We're going to use Brandstof. It's also Yulay, also a wonderful product, highly recommend. But and there are certain things that you have to do within a particular range of humidity, especially on an acoustic guitar, bracing the top, bracing the back, closing the top body up, that kind of deal. It has to be about 40 or 45% maximum humidity. Because if not, what will happen is when the humidity rises, the top will swell up and your action, which is your string height over the fretboard, will get really high, and at really low humidities, the top will shrink and sometimes split and crack because the wood's too dry. So you have to build it in a range where it's not going to be, the moisture in it is normalized enough where it's not going to, if it goes up or down in humidity, it's not going to be such a wide swing that it causes problems with the instruments. And one of the things that I do is wait until my, furnace is on a month or so, late December or early January. If I'm building an acoustic, that's when I brace the top and the back and close the box up. So, but that also affects your skin. It's why a lot of times your fingers are real dry and you can't seem to hold on to stuff in the wintertime, that kind of deal. Same thing. It's the lower humidity in your home. It's drying out your skin too. So I use a balm a lot of times in the wintertime. And this is a wonderful, Yulay is a good balm. So all right, that's been my shave. God bless you. I'll talk to you later.